How's it going, guys and gals? I'm wanted to do a review of a couple of concealed carry firearms. Um, I did um, a lot of research before I picked up anything. Um, I actually picked up the XD9 first. It's a service model, which at that point I was brand new to concealed carry and didn't realize that it was going to be just a little bit too big for me to carry comfortably, like during the summertime. Um, so what ended up happening, like I said, I picked it up and it was a little too big. I do have it on my card though, so winter is coming up, so I could probably carry it a little more comfortably at that point. But so after purchasing that and realizing it was a little too big, but it's still a heck of a nice firearm. I really like it a lot. Um, I researched a lot more and kind of um, broke things down and came to the conclusion that it was going to be between a few different firearms. Um, the first of which was the Glock 27 or the 26. I wasn't 100% on which way I wanted to go with the 9mm or the 40. Um, I ended up ultimately deciding on the 40. So I ended up picking up the Glock 27. It is unloaded. Nothing in the chamber. So we are good to go in that sense here. But I picked up the Glock 27. Um, Before I did, though, I actually went out to the gun range out here in North Highlands in the Sacramento area, which those guys are great. They got awesome prices on most of their firearms. Customer service is pretty darn good too. Um, but what I did is I went out to the gun range and I rented a 27 at first because I was watching some YouTube videos and stuff, and there were some guys saying that it's too snappy and this and that, and it just was not comfortable for them. So I still wasn't sure on the 9 or the 40, so I wanted to check it out for myself. So, like I said, I went ahead, I rented a 27, and I loved it. Right off the bat, it was firing great, zero complaints, and it just had the flat base plate, um, which I have two other magazines, and I bought the Pierce grip extensions. So if you look here, my pinky does not it doesn't touch on the grip at all, which one would think that might be kind of an issue, but it's really not for me anyway. It almost, I don't know, it almost helps you to to grip a little bit better and have a little more control. Sounds kind of weird, but until you shoot it and try it out, and shoot a couple hundred rounds with a flat plate and just see what you think. Um, or maybe 100 rounds or 50 rounds or whatever you want to try. For me, it actually feels pretty good, and it helps with the concealability of the firearm as well. Um, so anyway, the Pierce grip extensions are really nice as well, and I've been doing a lot of shooting with with those as well, and I'm comfortable with both right now. When I carry this guy here just like this, and I have my two other magazines with the Pierce grip extensions as my backups. Um, so, that being said, I love this thing. I really do. It is a great firearm. Um, I've had a lot of different guns throughout my life, and I want to say this is definitely up there and probably the top. two. Maybe even it very well could be my absolute favorite. But just a great gun. Um, with this guy here, you have the ability. It's in 40, but you can actually buy a conversion barrel to convert it down to 9mm, which is nice if you want to do that. I can't do that and carry it because out here in California, when you have a gun listed as a carry weapon, you can't modify much on it. I believe you're able to modify the sights and I think the grip, but anything as far as the functionality of the gun, how it comes from the factory, you are not allowed to modify it in any sense. And if you do, and you end up in, God forbid, you end up having to draw your weapon and fire it on someone, you can get in a lot of trouble. And their lawyers apparently can use your modifications against you, even though they might be minute, but they're against the law in the county that I'm living in. So, one other thing I did want to mention, when I rented the 27 at first, the first one, man, I was dead on, hitting my target. Great. When I purchased this guy here, I was shooting low and to the right. And I just couldn't figure it out. It was the same weapon, same model and everything, but I was shooting low to the right, which, I was like kind of thrown by it because, I figured that these things came from the factory, dialed in and so forth, but I guess that was my mistake. The front sight is fixed, so it's a fixed sight there. However, your rear sight, it has the ability to slide side to side. And when I looked at it and started questioning why I'm shooting low to the right and seeing if there was anything I could do to fix it, I found that in the back here, I don't remember which side, I think it was slid over just a little bit more to the left, if I'm not mistaken. So if it's to the left, and I'm trying to compensate, yeah, I think it was to the left, possibly the right, I don't know. But anyhow, I went ahead and readjusted the sights, and when I took it back out, it was awesome. It really was. So, nailing my target. I feel super comfortable with this guy here. Like I said, it's probably my favorite weapon that I've ever had. I've had some pretty nice ones too. I've had some HKs and other Smith & Wessons and Berettas and all sorts of stuff too, which I'm a big fan of Beretta also. But the Glocks are friggin' just really nice. You can, like I said, get a 9mm conversion barrel, or you can actually get, I think it's a 357 conversion barrel also. So that's pretty much it for the 27. Holds 9 rounds, 1 in the chamber. You can, with those Pierce grip extensions, it says you can fit 10 in there, which I did. But once I did, it was really tight in there, and even loading it into the gun was a little difficult. You had to put a little force into it. So, I didn't want to damage the spring by compressing it any more than it was designed to. So, I load it with 9. 9 here, 1 in the chamber, and my backups, I only carry 9 each in those. So, and it still has pretty good. It's comes out to, I think it's 28 rounds with the 1 in the chamber. So, excellent firearm. Done a lot of research, and this is what it came down to. Came down to this guy here, or the 26. 26 is the 9mm, but I wanted to go with the 40 because it was comfortable to me. Might not be that way with you. I suggest going out and renting them first and just see what you think. that being said, the second gun I wanted to review is the M&P Shield. So we're going to do this here one more time. Empty. Empty here as well. So we are good to go. We're all nice and safe. So my only, and I won't even say it's a complaint, with the 27 is the thickness. Okay, which the thickness, it's really not that big of a deal. I was recently looking at the Glock 30 slim frame, and when I grabbed onto it, boy, it is really fat around the handle. It's a lot bigger and thicker than I thought it was going to be. So anyway, like I said, I wanted to find something that I could wear a t-shirt with and not worry about printing as much. So I started looking at the Shield, which, well, like I said, in the beginning, it was either the 26, the 27, and the third one I was thinking about was the Shield. I didn't get the Shield because the grip was so thin and I kind of have big hands, and it didn't really feel natural to me. I started, I went out and I was looking for another concealed carry gun. I went out to Rockland Armory out here in Rockland, which is actually a great store as well. Very helpful, and good prices over there as well. So if you're in Rockland, you might want to go check them out. They're really good guys in there. Anyway, I picked this up over there after holding it, and the grip still felt a little thin, but I ended up, they put on one of these, it's like a little sleeve, little rubber sleeve, and this thing's like, it just takes up a little more real estate in your hand. Still not as thick as the Glock, but it is, for guys with bigger hands that find the Shield a little bit thin in the grip, this thing is great. And this was like $10. I forgot who makes it. Yeah, I don't remember who makes it, but I'll put it there in the description. But great. It's really nice. This is actually a really nice little firearm. So those reviews and stuff that are raving about it, they're pretty much dead on. So, from my personal experience, they are pretty much dead on. My only complaint with this guy here, I picked it up a couple of weeks back, took it out to the range, and at 7 yards, I was not even hitting the target. And that was bothering me. That was bothering me pretty bad, because I'm not a great shot, but I'm a decent shot. And at 7 yards, that's 21 feet. I might not hit the bullseye, but I'm usually not too far off. And to not even be able to hit the friggin' target was like, there's something going on. So I got home, started looking. I typed in, I Googled, or I think I went on YouTube. I typed in the M&P Shield shooting low left. And I found a whole bunch of guys saying, oh, it's just the shooter, it's this and that, and you just have to get used to it, and all this stuff. Making diagnosis for other people's firearms, I think it's kind of foolish. Telling them not to worry about it, just get used to it, all this other crap. It's a concealed carry gun, and if you're using it for that, you are depending on this thing to save your life. So for someone to go out and tell you not to worry about it and just get used to it, I think is a crock of shit, to be honest with you. What they really should be telling them is look at this, look at that, see if the sights are off, which that's what it was in my case. It was actually quite far over. The front sight was quite far over to the right here. So that being over to the right, when I would aim, I was, lining it up, and what it was doing was causing me to shoot low to the left. The low part was probably my fault, but to the left off of the target at 7 yards that's insane. And there's no way you should have to try to compensate that much, to be able to get your shot on target. So, like I said, there's a lot of guys out there who are know-it-alls. They don't like to be wrong. You know what? We're all human, and we're all wrong at some point. And if you're going to depend on a gun to save your life, look for advice and stuff. I would suggest, and try to get a well-rounded point of view, and do your homework. Try to figure out what it is that's causing your firearm to be low left, low right, high left, high right, whatever the case may be. Try to figure it out. Maybe it is user error. Then just start looking into different ways of holding your firearm, of aiming, of lining up your shots, and all that sort of thing. Because, like I said, if you're going to depend on the thing to save your life or the lives of your lives of your loved ones, don't listen to some jackass that's going to be a know-it-all and tell you not to worry about it. That guy doesn't know you from anybody else, and he's just, a lot of times they're know-it-alls, and I got no tolerance or patience for that kind of crap. So again, this is actually a really nice firearm. Once I had the sights dialed in the way they're supposed to, I'm nailing like everything that everything I'm aiming at. So it is a little bit, this is like two more steps to break this thing down than the Glock, which is not a huge deal. But basically, what you have to do, you lock it open, and then you have the little, I don't know what the terms are, but you got this guy here that drops down. So again, this guy here drops down. Then inside here, hopefully you're able to see this, there's actually, let me see where we're at here, at this light in my eyes. There's a little pin inside here that has to be pulled down. It's painted yellow. You pull that down. Once you do that, you're able to drop the mag here, drop the slide, and you're able to break it down. Like I said, right now, I'm not going to do that, but there's plenty of videos out there showing you how to do it. Whereas the Glock itself is actually super simple to break down here. You have these little tabs right here on both sides, right there. So basically, you pull back just a little bit, you can pull down, and then you're able to release the slide. That's a little bit dirty because I went out shooting yesterday. Super easy to break down, and then you have your spring here, got your barrel. That's pretty much it. You field strip it, clean it. I started using a product called Ballistol. A lot of guys have not heard of yet, and it's a solvent and oil all in one. So I started using that as well as my boar snake, which, like I said, the Ballistol's awesome, and the boar snake has made life a lot easier than using all the little pads and switching up the wire brush and all that sort of thing. So once again, just to break it down again, the Glock 27 is probably my favorite weapon of choice here. A close second is the Smith & Wesson M&P Shield. I got this in 9mm, the 27. Obviously, that one's in 40. So depends what you want to do. You know, from what I understand, there's not a huge difference in the stopping power of a 9 and 40. A lot of it has to do with your shot placement. But like I said, and when you're dealing with hollow points and things like that, defensive rounds, and you have halfway decent shot placement, you're going to probably more than likely stop the threat, you know, within the amount of shots that you have. Also, the M&P Shield, this flat plate magazine, holds 7 rounds. So this guy holds 7, 1 in the chamber. So you got 8. It also comes with another. Magazine, which is actually an 8-rounder. And I picked up one more as well. So 1 7 here, a 7 with 1 in the chamber, plus 2 more 8-round magazines. It's going to give you 24 shots. Hopefully you can hit whatever you're trying to hit within within the first 8 shots. But if not, you know, hopefully you can do it with whatever the amount of ammo you have in your spare mags, whether it be 1 or 2 spares. So again, both highly recommended. And I might as well mention it real quick. I did a review on the holsters. Just a real quick review for the 27. For the 27, I picked up a StealthGear Onyx holster. I bought this brand new, and it was about 99 bucks plus a couple dollars for shipping. But the thing fits like a glove. It's friggin' awesome. I absolutely love it. It is a StealthGear Onyx, and it has almost this like jersey type material in the back. And I think you should be able to see there's actually, it's all breathable. There's holes inside here, and then there's also a sweat shield back here that protects your firearm from getting sweat on it, which I heard is hard on the finish of the guns because of the salt in our sweat and so forth. So, like I said, highly recommended. I really, really like this holster a lot. It's broken in now, and I often will forget that I'm wearing it. So, great holster here. StealthGear Onyx. The other one, after I bought my shield, I started looking for, before I picked it up, I started looking for holsters. And I ended up settling on the Vedder RapidTuck. The Vedder RapidTuck, it was $54.99 plus, it was like $5 and some odd cents for shipping. This is what I ended up getting here, which, I mean, it's a decent holster. It is nowhere near a StealthGear quality. So I got it for the shield, and I was a little disappointed in the fact that you can see that there is quite a bit of play in here. And when you flip it upside down, this thing will fall right out. So it is, you know, it leaves a little bit of desirability. It just does not fit too well. And they have rivets here instead of screws that you're able to adjust the tension. See? So, you know, they kind of skimp there on that price. On that quality. My other complaints on this holster here is the leather, the backing of the leather. I know there's a break-in period, but this stuff up against my skin felt like sandpaper almost. And what made it worse is all along this edge here, it was almost sharp, and it was like cutting into my skin. So, excuse me, I ended up taking sandpaper to it and breaking down that burr, which is kind of crazy. I think, you know, you're going to purchase a product from a company that has a pretty good name to it. You would think that it would come, I realize there's a break-in period, but you would think that it would come with those little details kind of taken care of for you. You know, because I live in the Sacramento area, and it gets a little hot and somewhat humid out here. So the last thing I really want to do is have to wear a second shirt underneath just to protect my skin from the backing of the leather and the edge during the break-in period. Summertime is not a fun time to be doubling up on shirts and stuff out here. So, Vedder holsters. This is the Vedder RapidTuck, and Vedder actually, supposedly they have a really good customer service, and they offer a 30-day satisfaction and money back guarantee. So I think I'm actually going to take them up on that. So I'm still within that 30 days. I did place a call with them today, but it was after 5 o'clock, so I did not expect to hear back from them just yet. So we'll see how that goes, and if there's any issues with that, I'll probably be putting a video out for that as well. So one thing I did find out after picking up the Shield and not being so happy with this, the fit of this, I mean, you can see sideways here, this thing is making a bunch of, and even this way, and like I said, it just falls right out. What I did find out, my 27 holster, the StealthGear, actually accepts pretty darn nice. I mean, there is a little bit of play in it, but I don't think it's quite as much as in the Vedder that was actually made for the Shield. You can see, but it will fall out too, but once it's contoured to my body and it's pressing up against here, it's actually in there pretty good, you know, and it fits just as good, if not better, than the Vedder does. So, like I said, the StealthGear actually works great. It will work for the 27, and it will also work for the Glock 26, which is the exact same frame as the 27, and it's also working for, the Shield, the M&P Shield 9mm, and I believe the 9mm and the 40 are the exact same size. So I believe this particular holster will work for all 4 guns. So anyway, that's my review. Feel free to comment down below. Subscribe if you'd like. Anyway, have a good evening, and that is my review.